Chapter 13 of the Gospel of Matthew, from which we begin reading today, is known as Matthew's Parable Discourse. In this chapter, we find a total of 7 parables that Jesus told. We will hear the first of these parables today. It is a common parable which many of us may be aware of, and is called the parable of the sower. The parable speaks about a sower who sows in 4 kinds of soil. He sows along the path, and the birds come and eat up that grain. He sows along rocky ground, and the rocky ground, having no depth, cannot maintain that seed. He sows among thorns, and the thorns grow up and choke the seed. He sows among good soil, and there is plentiful harvest, 100-fold, 60, and 30. What does the parable of the sower mean? The parable of the sower means that every one of us is engaged in activity, in work, in action. It is very likely that 75% of our action, like in the case of the sower, the seed sown along the path, the seed sown on rocky ground, the seed sown on thorns, is lost. It is only that 25%, that 1/4, that is sown on good soil. But the yield of that 1/4 is 100-fold, 60-fold, and 30-fold. If you were to ask a farmer at the time of Jesus what yield he was expecting from his field, he would respond by saying he was expecting an yield of 6 or of 8, which means that for every kilo of seed that he sowed, he would expect to get 6 or 8 kilos in return. Jesus starts in Matthew with 100-fold, moves on to 60 and 30, and someone who heard Jesus would say, this is absurd, because these figures are unheard of. But the point is that Jesus is not talking of agriculture. The seed is a metaphor for the effort that we put in. The seed is a metaphor for the action that we do, and therefore, the challenge of the parable is to realize that even though in many cases 75% of our effort may be lost, the 25% will gain. It means that we have to continue to sow in the hope that God will make it grow. We have to continue to do our best in the hope that God will do the rest. Our job is to continue to act. Our job is to continue to work and not be concerned about the results, not be concerned about what will happen after we have done our best. In the Bhagavad Gita, there is a phrase called Nishkama Karma. And Nishkama Karma means that I do what I have to do without desiring the fruits of my action. It means that I act in the present without being obsessed with the future. It means that I do my best today and not worry about what will happen tomorrow. Will I, in imitation of Jesus, do what I have to do to the best of my ability and leave the rest to God?